Hey everybody, this is Atanas' Masterpiece MK1. Just finished this guy up. It is a pretty standard build. Rudy Pando crystal chamber, Shtok Custom Worx chassis, some custom additions and modifications on my part. Let's see, to turn it on. Just want to remove the pommel cap here. Main power switch down here. USB and micro SD and recharge access also down here. You have your auxiliary switch and your power switch here. Nice shine through on that blade plug. So to remove the blade plug, to install it obviously just drop it in. But it's a very snug fit. As you can see by how slowly it slides in. To remove it, you just have to be patient and kind of wiggle it till it comes out. Now inside we've got Shtok Custom Worx NeoPixel onboard pixel blade connector with a custom light diffusing screen. And then this top can be broken down and removed. We've got an inset blade connector system here that connects the two pieces. And I did a little bit of custom work on this guy to make this blade connector just look a little cooler. I like how that looks with the PCB coating removed. Hopefully you guys can get a good shot on that. Then as far as the top end goes, the blade connector system here is recessed, so it's flush mounted. And I did that using my mill. I just milled into this brass section here about a 1/16 of an inch so that this could be set in and recessed. And then I did the same with the heatsink which holds this piece together, and I milled off the top portion of it so that the blade connector can be mounted inside a little recessed area on that heatsink rather than on top, just to give the blade a little bit more depth when it's inserted. Now to open this guy up, as usual, just unlock the Graflex clamp, twist, slide, and then lock. We've got a two-tone crystal chamber here with the exhaust ports on the crystal holders being their own data line, and then the crystal obviously being its own. And for the first blade, I wanted everything to be off when the blade was off to save battery. But once you rolled into the second blade, you have a similar setup, but with heat dissipation. And as you can see, the heatsink vents ramp up in heat as the saber powers up. And as they heat up, they change color all the way from a pale red through orange and yellow into a blue, real bright blue color here, and then they cool off back through the same colors until they turn off. Now let's quickly break this guy down so you guys can see how that works and how easy it is. We'll start with the emitter here. Then you want to pop the Graflex clamp and twist and slide the grenade section up. Loosen the set screw when that piece will slide right off. Next up, unscrew the pommel and bottom grenade section here. Then at this point, this is essentially broken down as far as is usually necessary. You can further pop off these covers if you want to gain access to the electronics. Like if you need to reset the Proffieboard, there are 2 switches right on the board here. But if you want to gain access to the internals a little bit more, you can remove the bubble strip like so, and then pop out the switch apparatus by pressing up on the top end and then just pulling it up. Then you have to unscrew the 2 transistor greebles. And once that's done, you can slide the Graflex clamp up and off. And now it is officially fully broken down as far as it can. But it's handy if you want to see what's going on inside for any reason. You need to check on the wiring or whatever. All the wires run from the top through this brass tube, past the speaker here in kind of a ribbon cable setup here, and up into the rear end where everything kind of branches off to the Proffieboard. Got an 18650 Samsung 30Q battery, which is a 3000 milliamp hour 15 amp current cell, a very good cell. I stripped the wrapper from it and replaced it with a clear wrapper just so it would be silver instead of pink. And then down here we've got a 28mm premium speaker, which is inset mounted into the top half of the Rudy Pando crystal chamber so that a larger speaker can be used. You have to mill out this section in order to do that. Unless you have one of the newer RP crystal chamber chassis in which he has modified the design so that the speaker can be installed in here and you don't have to do any of that milling. So putting it back together, just the reverse order. Just clip everything back together. Here's the tricky part. I'm going to make sure that the prongs of the button set are lined up, or else the buttons won't work. There we go. Now the top section goes back on, and we retighten the set screw. Not all the way. What you want to do is tighten it all the way until it stops, and then back it off about a quarter of a turn. Slide it down, lock it down, tighten up the bottom, reattach the top. At this point you can relock Graflex clamp and then reinsert the bubble strip. You may have to press down on the back side of this switch here so that it will slide over. Now you want to check your button action at this point. If you've got it installed correctly, then the action will be really pronounced and tactile. Just like that. You want to both hear and feel the switches. always take a second to check everything out, make sure. And then finally, you want to reattach the transistor greebles. One of them is slightly shorter. The top one here, or I suppose it's the bottom one, is the longer of the two because there's more chassis for it to screw into. So you want to make sure to put the longer one on the bottom here and the shorter one towards the front. Right. Now the one thing I think I haven't really gone over is the heatsink piping going on in the back. It's one of my favorite custom modifications, and this version came out really, really nice and clean. This lightsaber obviously creates a whole lot of heat and pressure and energy, and so in order for it to cool itself off, there's a system of pipes and tubes that runs throughout that distributes cooling fluid and cooling gas to the different parts of the lightsaber. And these pipes here, these tubes run to different sections of the saber and pipe that cooling fluid and cooling gas throughout in order to maintain the overall low temperatures required for the saber to run for long periods of time. So that's what we've got going on here. But I'm very pleased with how this part came out. This is definitely It's a beautifully illuminated setup right there. That's a double pointed polished quartz kyber crystal. A really nice example of one. Now, as far as the blade and the blade array goes, we've got a 31.5 inch, 7/8 inch blade with a custom metal adapter here that's got a recessed blade connector, about a little over 1/4 of an inch recessed. The blade connector sits in the middle, but it stands about 1/4 of an inch tall. And around the edge there's a 1-inch ring, which matches perfectly with this 1-inch adapter. So this adapter sits right around the edge of everything. It goes around and encompasses the connector, so that it actually goes all the way in and sits flush with the bottom of the emitter. Tighten up that set screw. So we've got a really, really bright white, bluish, I call it cool white to start with, then a standard blue, a distressed audio flicker blue, electricity blade, which is a audio flicker cyan, blue turbine blade, and then purple, green, yellow, red,
I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
And then a fire blade and a Jedi fire blade.
Be patient, Luke. Stay and watch over the droid. They must be delivered safely, or other star systems will suffer the same fate as Alderaan. Very interesting. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Lots of good Obi-Wan quotes on each blade.
You should not have come back. I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, God. Let's just say we'd like to avoid any Imperial entanglements. And these last points, too accurate for sand people. Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows it? Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. Move along. That's no moon. It's a space station. Your destiny lies above the path of mine. These tracks are side by side. Sand people always ride single file to hide their numbers. The sand people are easily startled, but they'll soon be back, and in greater numbers. Let go your conscious self and act on instinct. I think we better get indoors. The Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded. You're fortunate to be all in one piece. Come here, my little friend.
And that is about it. So Atanas, always remember to turn off the main power switch when you're done playing. Otherwise your battery will drain. Even when it's not turned on. And that's about it. Thank you for letting me build this for you. It was a good challenge and a lot of fun. And I hope you like it. And to the rest of you guys, thank you for watching.